Hey guys, what's up? Welcome. Hope you're having an awesome Friday. TGIF, right? You guys pumped up for the weekend? Come on in. Pumped up for the weekend or what? They're having a party next door. Just so you know, there's a bit of dance music. Actually, I think it's an aerobics class. I may have to jump in. After this lesson, I may just go next door and we'll do a little dancing to celebrate, okay? Here we go. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, right? Thank God for the weekend. Let's hope this works. It's my only marker on hand. E. TGIF. It'll have to do, folks. We're live. Come on in. Are you working for the weekend? Are you working for the weekend? Everybody's working for the weekend. Not everybody. Okay. I'm going to talk about your container today. Your container. The container of you. I'm going to call it the emotion container. Okay? So picture yourself like a container of emotions. Let's do this. Let's do a container. How would I do a container? Ooh, that's a rough marker. That's rough. There we go. We've got a container of emotions. And the container can only hold so many emotions. Now this actually works. So please pay attention. When I said, are you working for the weekend? What I was insinuating was, are you happy with your life, or does your life suck so much during the week that you're just working for the weekend to be happy, to have those good emotions? If you're doing that, let me tell you, I know what you feel like. I do. And I believe when I was working and I hated my work week, when Sunday rolled around, I was in cold chills. I was all clammy. I did not want to go back to work. Actually, I think Sunday afternoons and evenings were worse than Monday mornings. The fear of going to work on Monday. Okay, so I'd like to possibly help you with your emotion container today. I want you to picture yourself as a container that can only hold certain amount of emotions within. Hey, how's that? That looks pretty good, huh? Those are emotions, okay? Now, it can only hold so many emotions, or it's going to overflow, and you won't feel these, okay? Whatever the container fills up with is all it can hold. So your job is to fill that up with as many good emotions as you can. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to substitute your emotions, the bad ones. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips on, well, I'm going to tell you what they are, okay? There are core emotions. Let me write that down. There are 6 core emotions. I am multitasking. I'm doing, one hand is holding the device. How you guys doing? You good? There are 6 core emotions. And we actually have a marker that's not even, that's barely working. We're doing what we got to do, right? Because I really believe this will help you guys. It helped me, okay? There are 6 core emotions that, oddly enough, 4 of them are negative. So it's very easy to feel down on yourself. It's actually by default, that's how we are. We always look at the glass half empty. So we're going to try to replace that so that our goal is to have good emotions in our container. Check mark means good. at least 80% of the time. You got to have a few bad ones in there, unless you're Superman. Just kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding. You will, the more you fill that container up, your emotion container, with good emotions, a lot of it will have to do with substitutions. So as I share with you the 6 core emotions, I'm going to give you substitutes for them and how I substitute the bad emotion with a good emotion. Okay? So, like I said, when you fill that container up with as many good emotions as you can, there is no room for the bad emotions. There really isn't. So when you catch a bad emotion come in, you switch it, you convert it. And with time, your natural state will be to have 80% good emotions in your emotional container. And when a bad emotion comes in, your natural state or your natural process will be to convert it. So it's kind of like in the beginning, it's tough to do, but after a while, it's completely natural. So I will start by listing off the 6 core emotions. First one is good, it's happiness. How's that for good handwriting? So that's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. Just in case you were unaware. So happiness would be number 1, and then sadness would be the second one. And it's kind of funny because once you go through the 6 core emotions, there are other secondary emotions, I guess, but the 6 core emotions, you're always feeling one of these pretty much 100% of the time. So, happiness, sadness, we have fear, we have disgust, that one usually stays in the container. I usually keep that one in there. I don't convert that one too often. And then we have, what's the other? Surprise. We are running out of ink, folks. Just in time, right? So here we go. The 6 core emotions you're almost always feeling are happiness, sadness, fear, surprise, or disgust. Did you guys know those were the 6 core emotions placed on Glasgow University? It's a Glasgow University research that defines these, but it's pretty consistent across the board. So happiness, sadness, fear, surprise, disgust. Now what's interesting about this is I don't really like to be surprised too much. Let's start here. I said 2 of 6 are positive. Well, the truth is, for me, it's only 1 of the 6. For me. I don't like being surprised. I don't. Surprise! It depends. That could be good or bad. But I tend to like to know what I expect. So I'm going to tell you, first of all, happiness is really the only clear-cut, good, natural core emotion, which says a lot for society, or not for society, for humankind. We're kind of wired to have disgust, surprise, fear, and sadness, and then, we'll throw happiness in there. Which is why, I hate to bring this up, but look around. Look at people around in public. They're not like, no. They're like slouching. They're talking to themselves. They're rubbing their heads. They're kind of rubbing their faces, facing the hands sometimes. Go to a coffee shop, sometimes people will be like, It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild how many more people are drowning in these emotions all the time. So here's my attempt at getting you to start switching these, because these are going in the container. They're going in the container. You start replacing them, magic starts happening, okay? So here we go. This one is obvious. To change sadness, you want to change it into happiness. That one, I'll tell you right now. And of course, happiness, the antonym is sadness. You don't want to touch the first one. You don't want to be switching happiness into sadness, so we're good there. You want to keep that emotion. But that emotion comes as a result of substituting the others. That emotion comes as a result of filling this up with 80% good emotions. Your container. Like I said, once you start substituting the bad emotions with good emotions, which is hard to do, give you some tricks, things start happening. The happiness starts coming out. So we're going to go with fear and how I do that. A lot of this is a lot of self-talk, okay? It's a lot of self-talk. I may do some affirmations later on another live and show you how I do incantations. I don't think I've ever done incantations on a live. Okay, maybe another time. Maybe later. So fear is confidence. Oh, look at that. I think we're out of ink, guys. But I'm confident we're going to get through this. I am fearing that we're out of ink, but I'm confident we're going to get through this. That one is a mind switch. That one's a simple mind switch. That one is like a muscle. You got to keep working it, and then it gets strong. The best thing I can do is say, I got this. I got this. I know it sounds basic, and it sounds like, well, of course, it's easy to just say that. But the truth is, it's not easy to just say that. You have to say that. And when you start saying it to yourself, it gives you the best shot at it. The only way you're going to get rid of fear when it pops up is to at least tell yourself that you got this and you're confident through it. If you think it's BS, I got to tell you guys, so many situations, especially this stuff, what I'm doing right now, this stuff, definitely one of my biggest fears. Definitely. I'm going to have a seat on the boardroom table here if you guys don't mind. Definitely one of my biggest fears recently, through childhood, was speaking publicly. Absolutely. Who would agree? Who has that fear? We're going to use an example. For me, I would take an F before I would publicly speak. For me to go on a video like this, the only way I did it was self-talk. Self-talk. Some of you may have seen, it's interesting because right now I'm doing my content, I'm documenting my journey. You guys are going to see that this weekend if you're coming to Sunday's webinar, but I'm documenting my journey from video number 1 to video 300, which I'm not at yet, but I'm just documenting it. And I'm seeing myself change throughout the videos, comfort levels. I'm getting better because I'm learning, but the comfort levels, I mean, not the material. And it's trippy. It's trippy when you go back on your journey. My first video was 3 years ago. 3 years ago was my first webinar ever. And I remember what I did. I pumped myself up. I self-talked to myself. And I said, I replaced the fear emotion in the container with confidence. Just by telling myself I was confident, I got this. This ain't nothing but a thing, yo. Let's do this. I am. The power of the word that follows I am is going to do it for you over time. I'm going to repeat that because it's super powerful. The word that follows the two words I am, that's pretty, yeah, we're doing rough here. I am blank. I think we're going to have to just talk it through from now on. My fear has come true, but I'm confident that I can communicate it out. The word that follows I am repeated several times. So a lot of this stuff is self-talk. It's so powerful. I am confident. I'm confident. I got this. I can say other I ams, but I don't want to sound like, I don't know, overconfident. I do. I have to do that to myself. I don't do it publicly. You guys stay humble. But the more you do it, especially before the situation, as I was saying, my first time I was on a webinar, a joint webinar with, who was it? Some big leader in the system. I won't say any names. But I was like, it was crazy. And the only way I replaced fear with confidence, and it worked. It worked. A glass of wine didn't hurt either. But what I'm saying is the I am confident. I got this. I know my stuff. I'm going to crush this. I'm going to help a ton of people. I'm going to kill it. It'll be easy. Just that. Actually, rewind that little clip. Those things I just said. I got this. It'll be easy. I know my stuff. I'm super confident. I'm good at this stuff. It works, okay? So you replace that emotion. You put it in the bucket. And I do that with fear all the time. I'm always scared of stuff still, but I replace it. I catch it before it goes into that bucket. I don't let it fester in my container. Okay, surprise. What's the antonym of surprise? Unless you want to be surprised. I'll tell you what I do when I get surprised. I expect it. That's the antonym of surprise. So if you like being surprised, some people like being surprised. I don't necessarily like being surprised. So what I do, is surprise a good state? It could be, but I don't like it. I rather expect things. So even though surprises happen all the time, my state of mind for that is when I get surprised and it's like, surprise, I say, well, I expected that. So for me, it's more of a happy feeling to expect something. So if I know, if there's a possibility I'll get surprised, I'll be like, well, I'm expecting things to happen. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm clear with that, but it's helped me enormously to expect it. And when I do get surprised, whether it's good or it's bad, I say, well, I did expect that, even if I didn't. So every time I get the possibility of an unknown surprise, I walk in confidently because it happens for a reason. That's the way I see it, okay? And the more I say, I expected it, or, oh, I expected that to happen, there's a lot of things. If a good thing happens, now I don't know if you want to say that publicly. This is a lot of self-talk, right? So if I get surprised, if I'm always surprised, and I have that feeling of surprise in there all the time, I feel kind of lost. Like, it's nice to kind of go with the flow, but if I have the feeling in my container, I expect this, I do it, I use it in a very powerful way. I expect to be an 8-figure earner in 4 years. It's going to happen. That's what I expect. When in reality, it's like, surprise, you're making 10 million a year. My mind still hasn't accepted that yet. Accepted to expect it. But I'm forcing it to. And it makes it come faster and makes it more real. And it just happens. So I changed the emotion of surprise, of being surprised. Well, what's going to surprise me today? I'm expecting it to go perfectly. Make sense? So that's what I do. I fill up that container with expectation. I expect this. Expectation. Today I expect to have the craziest awesome day. And that's how I replace that emotion in that container. Disgust. Disgust is love, right? the opposite of disgust is attraction or love. I use that a lot too. I use that a lot too. Now, I don't know if this would be a popular thing here because I get disgusted by a lot of people. Did I say that out loud? I get disgusted by a lot of people. There, I'm going to use this arm. And this has changed a lot for me. The feeling of disgust does not belong in there. I said I let it in sometimes. I really shouldn't. I'm working on it because when I hold on to that emotion of disgust and it's taken up room in my container, all I need to do is think of a very, very powerful quote, which is one of my favorite still, and let's hope I get it right. Well, it goes something like this. Everyone is going through something that you don't know about. Everybody is going through something that you do not know about. So always be kind. Everyone, I'll say it again, I love it that much. Everyone is going through something that you have no idea is happening to them. See, I worded it differently, but you get it. Everyone is going through something that you do not know about. Always be kind. That helps me turn disgust, stop it from going into that container and turning it into love, turning it into love. Love would be that antonym, okay? So, example, if someone's a real a-hole, oops, did I say that out loud? If somebody's a real jerk or bitch, oops, did I say that out loud? Come on, let's just be real here. You don't know what they're going through. And even if they are a jerk or a bitch, did I say it out loud? I'm going to stop using those words. Those don't belong on my timeline, quite frankly. I'm not taking the Gary V road. So, yeah, I'm just chilling here. Just chilling. What's up? If I replace that disgust, even if I ought to be disgusted, so let me put it this way. It's my container of emotions. It's mine. Nobody is going to tell me what I put in there. Nobody can control what goes in there. So, if someone is disgusting, I'm getting pretty damn good at this. I love them anyways. I don't publicly say it because I think of that quote. So what if they really are disgusting people? Well, I don't need to know that. I'm going to pretend that I think they're going through something that I know nothing about, even if they're not, so that I don't carry that emotion around myself, so that I don't carry that emotion around myself. Make sense? Okay, guys? So if you start filling up your container with the good emotions, expectation, I'm telling you, I like it better than surprise. Some people may debate on this, but that's okay. I'm telling you, sadness will turn into happiness once this container is full, or 80% anyways. Okay, and you catch them as they go in at the beginning. You got to catch them, and there's no more room for the bad stuff. The bad stuff can't get in after a while. You only have so much room in your container. Look at it that way, okay, guys? There's the container, and there's that beautiful artwork of the container. So, guys, today that's something to keep in mind, and it's something to actually take action on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You like the boardroom? All right, guys. Sounds like the dance party's over. I was ready to get my groove on. Bunch of seniors in this place, so I got my groove on. Got my groove on with the seniors. I'm almost a senior myself. Better be careful what I say. So, guys, that's my actionable tip for you today. Be careful what emotions you are putting in your container, because your container only has so much space. You put a lot of negative emotions in there, there won't be room for the positive ones. You fill it up with positive emotions, there won't be room for the negative ones. Okay? So have an awesome Friday, guys, and I will see you guys on social media. Bye-bye.